Hey friends, in this video I am going to engrave this old knife made out of a file. The client wanted me to put a simple name on this, so that's what we're doing. While this video is simple and straightforward, I hope you can pull a lot from it. I am going to take you through my creative process of what this looks like, and hopefully you'll be inspired. Let's go. So this is what the knife looks like. You can see that this was made from an old file with a wooden handle, and the client wants his son's name right along the spine of the tang right here on the handle. So that is what we are going to do. I'm also going to clean up this part just a little bit and maybe put a small shine on this, and I'm going to sharpen it. It's pretty thick on the cutting part of the blade, and I am just going to grind that down. And to finish up, I am going to put the name on the sheath. So we are going to hop over on Creative Space. So I could just put this down on the base plate right here and focus it and engrave it, but here's the thing, it could tip over. So I am going to use a clamp, and while there are better ways of doing this, you guys can let me know in the comments below which way you would do it. I am going to choose this way right here. So this is pretty secure. Now let me show you how to focus this. I am going to line this up right about here. And you see the two dots right there? I'm not sure if the camera is picking that up. I am going to hit the down button on my controller for the F1 Ultra and just overlap them. And that should be good right there. Now I'm going to move this down and put another spring clamp right here. I know I'm going to have someone call me out on this because this is such a sloppy setup for this. I'm going to add another one right here just to make sure it's secure. When you do this, you want to make sure whatever you are engraving is lining up straight. It can't be this way, it can't be this way. It's straight and line just like this, and I think that's looking pretty good. Again, I want to echo, this is an idea, but it's going to work right now. Now that we have the knife situated, let's hop over to Creative Space on the computer. If you look in the top right-hand corner, I have Refresh Background. I am going to click that, and that is going to give us a real-time preview of the knife. From this angle, it looks a little weird because of the camera placement, but that's all right. We have a framing feature which I will show you shortly. In the left-hand corner, we are going to click on this T, which stands for text. When we do that, then click in the middle, we are going to get this right here. So I am going to put this guy's name in, which is Carson. From here, I can enlarge the font or make it smaller and line it up over the tang of the knife. Now, one thing I want to point out here is font choices. There is something to watch out for, and I hope you'll hear me on this. I had to learn this the hard way. I will make this short as possible. Since this is going to a young man, I don't want something written in cursive that's more feminine. I do not want something that's so basic or something like a sans font that looks fun and like a cartoon. I want something in between. Since this is more of a rugged knife made from a file, I'm thinking more of a Western font or more of a serif font, something that's a little classy but looks rugged. Let's see what we have. So if we look here, the name of the font right here is Leto. And if I go over here, I can start looking. Let me bring this over so we can see. You can kind of see here. Now this is a little cartoony. I don't want something like that. That would work good for a children's gift. If we go down, it's cursive, still a little cartoonish. That's more of novelty right there. And if we keep on going, that's more of handwritten. This is no cursive, cartoonish. Now here's another one, more of a Western font, but a little too novelty. I'm showing you guys this process so you can see the way that I am thinking here. We need this to look right. So if I go down here, oh, that's kind of cool, but not what I'm going for. This right here is a stencil font, and it's more, reminds me of the Army. So that can be an option, but it's not what I'm going for. We're gonna keep looking here. Oh, here's a good one, copperplate. Look at this. This actually looks pretty good right there. It's still a serif style font, I guess. Some of you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it has those little, edges, you know what I'm talking about, that makes a serif font. I'm not in the typography, so I don't know all my terms. I think I am landing on this one, which is called Copperplate. I've actually used this font before, and I think it's going to work. I am going to zoom in on my camera right here over the knife. You can see where we have the tang of the blade right there. And I am going to take this, make it smaller, and just fit it over the top right here. Now, since he is right-handed, this can go either this way or this way, But I think since the blade is going this way, the name should go this way. That way it's pointing towards the blade. If we read now from this way, it's right to left, but here's the thing. If we flip it around, it's going towards the edge of the blade. So everything's moving on a one-way street. Does that make sense? It would all be one continuum. See what I'm saying? Just to have this congruence about it. So there we go. We are going to make this just a tad bit smaller. I don't want it too far up here, so we are going to go right about there. If we look right here, we may have a discrepancy. If I line up the C, the N is not lined up. So I may turn this just a tad bit more right there. Now before we frame this, we need to look at the settings. And this is something cool that xTool does. And by the way, they are not paying me to say this. They're just my favorite laser company because they make it so easy to use. Now I can click over here and click on Metal Business Card, you can see here, and hit Confirm, and this is just giving me an idea of where to start of what a metal business card would look like engraved, and from here I can choose something. But from experience, I'm going to use my own settings. I'm going to go to 100 on the speed, and since we are dealing with hardened steel, we could probably get a black etch at probably around 800 speed there, but I am going to go less than that, and I'm going to run this multiple passes. So from my experience, I am going to run this at about 200. So we are going to roll with these settings: power 100, speed 200, and lines per centimeter 300. I have the framing button right here. If I click the three dots, I am going to go over to Outline and hit Framing, and let's see what happens. I'm not sure if the camera is picking this up, but part of the font is actually showing that it is going to engrave on part of the handle on the wood part. So if we hop back over here to the computer, this looks perfectly in line. Let me show you why that is. Do you see the small part of this blade and it's at an angle? If we had a big, large object in here engraving like this square, that would not be the case, but since we're at an angle and we are engraving something so small, this is the way it is going to turn out. So I will always go by what the framing says. So what we're going to do here is take this down here just about there. We're going to click Framing again and see where it's at. That is almost perfect, guys. Bouncing back to the computer, we are moving this ever so slightly, and again, this is not accurate on the camera because of the angle we are at. You can see how that's raised up a little high. This is due to the font. I'm going to push it down just a tad bit more. And let's see what happens. Oh yeah, looky there, guys. Wow. Now I am going to inspect this. I want to rub my finger across there. I have to be very careful. That's good, but I want to run that 2 more times, okay? Okay guys, we're done. My memory card filled up so it didn't catch the rest of the engraving. But if you look here, I'm not going to touch this because I don't want to move it, but we have a good deep etch in there that I can fill with my fingers. We could go a little deeper, but I'm leaving it there. Now I want to show you guys how to do a cleaning pass. If we hop over here to the computer and click on the fonts, you can see my settings right here. Passes 3, all this stuff right here, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going back to 1 pass. I'm going to change the frequency of this all the way to 60. This is going to make just for a cleaner engraving. I don't have time to get into the logistics of this, but I am going to up the speed probably to about 2,000 just to be safe. And this is going to go very fast, but it's going to take away a lot of this black. We want it to be dark, but it looks burnt looking. We want to just make that look a little bit better. So this should take about 3 seconds. Watch this. I'm going to click Start. Boom. Well, that cleaned up everything. I mean, if you look right there, I got that a little high, but it took away all those burn marks. Now, I could probably do this at a lower speed and get a dark engraving, but I'm actually kind of liking that right there. We're going with it. No turning back now, but that looks pretty good. But let me point out my mistake here, which I know the guy won't care. I should have moved that up just ever so slightly, but since I was accounting for how big the C was, it looks like the name is along the side here, which does not look bad. I wish I would have moved it up just ever so slightly, but that's all right. It still looks pretty decent. Now let's do the sheath. For the sheath, they were talking about putting the name right there, but I actually think I'm gonna put it on the back side here because I think it just takes away from the design there. This is falling down, we need something underneath there. Okay, there we go. This is makeshift, do not follow my example. I'm gonna have so many people call me out on this because I'm doing this just so fast. So now we're gonna hop back over to Creative Space. Here we go, so we are going to take this name around. Guys, I believe in showing people mistakes. Here's what I did. I put a capital C and the rest lowercase letters, even though these are all uppercase. So I made a mistake with my fonts. So this is real life, guys. I just potentially screwed up a client's order by my ignorance. I'm still going to continue with this video and show you guys what not to do. And because of what I was trying to get away with that C, see how the C's bigger on this right here? That's because I didn't caps the other letters, even though that code for that font was written in all caps. Learn from my mistakes here. That was not planned. And I'm going to guess on my settings here. Lines per centimeter 300, speed 800, power. And I'm going to leave that at about 60. I'm going from some old settings I have in my mind, and we are going to hit frame. I'm moving that spring clamp. I don't think this is going anywhere. I could go a little deeper, but I am going to stay with that right there. If we compare the C's here, do you see how different the C on the knife looks? Now this is small, but while I was adjusting for the rest of the letters and had to move it down, this could have engraved more in the line of the middle if I would have paid attention. Like I said, all the other letters were uppercase already, and then I intentionally made an uppercase on the C, and it made it just a tad bit bigger. So yeah, don't be like me, pay attention guys. This is a real client project that could potentially have been a lot more damaging than this. Okay guys, I have my Ken Onion work sharp here with the coarse grit belt, and we are going to reprofile this. And before someone asks, I have a paper towel underneath here that I wet with water. That way a lot of the stock being removed will land on this wet paper towel. So this may be a little loud, so I will pull the audio down, but we are going to reprofile this and go through the different belts. Already looking better. A trick my friend Matt Culbertson taught me is that if you put your thumbnail out, put the knife at a 45 degree, and if it catches on your thumbnail, just barely pushing, it's getting sharp. Like right here, you see there it's not catching, right here it's catching. So I'm gonna have to focus on the blade a little bit more on the belly here. I'm going to hit this with a 20 degrees on my field sharpener here and knock some of that bevel off and give it a micro bevel. Now we are going to strop it. I am going to work on this edge just a little bit more, but I'm going to do that off camera because the basis of this video is how to laser engrave. And this was a simple project, but here's what I want you to do. I want you to learn from my mistakes. This is real life. I was tempted not to show this, but you know what? Everybody has to learn, and why not learn from me? So anyway, everything turned out good, and I know my client's going to be happy. I've been knowing him for years. So most people that would look at this name right here, I'm gonna have to be careful. I'll cut my face. If you look at this name right here, I notice it, but most people that looks at this won't even notice because that C looks like it's in the middle. But when you really zoom in on this on camera, you can kind of see. But now that I'm looking at it, it's not that big of a deal, but still the principle of it. If this was a very expensive piece, that would have been a costly mistake. So anyway, guys, I hope you learned a lot from this video, and I will see you in the next one. And if you want to know how to make money with your lasers, check out my top sellers in this video where I tell you some of my secrets. See you later.